And fuck the police coming straight out the underground. Got it bad because I'm brown.
Hello, Internet.
Hello, Internet.
I be Zoot.
I be Kasey. And Coffee's glaring at me from the end of the bed, so she's here too. So I guess we have a guest star this time.
We do have a guest star, a cat named Coffee.
Yeah.
And,
I assume Zim's not in the room, so he's not really guest starring this.
No, he was meowing quite loudly a little while ago, but he has since gotten quiet. So, today we're toasting to Contrast, which, is this a game you are familiar with, Kasey?
Nope, never seen it before in my life.
Okay, excellent. Because this is a game I have been, back in the day, when we first started, this was one of the originals that I actually wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But getting the actual recording was a pain in the ass, so we just never got around to it. And also, the computer I was using at the time was basically being held together with sticks and hope.
Yeah, we knew. I remember that.
Yeah, so we never did this one, but this is one that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And I have my fact sheet, and the reason why I'm pausing at this point, which nobody can tell, it's just the logo screen, is because the first act of the game, it's divided into 3 acts, is very, very dialogue heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So I suspect we might be kind of quiet during those points, so I wanted to get the introductions out of the way. And yeah, this is a very strange game. It has a 9 out of 10 rating on Steam, but it's pretty much critically panned. And because I am going to be talking over some of the cutscenes and story scenes, I'll just give you the basic rundown. I first learned about this game in Game Informer, and it sounded like a really interesting concept. It's a puzzle platformer, and you play this character who's on the screen right now. Her name is Dawn, and she is the imaginary friend of a young child, and she becomes a shadow person and navigates obstacles using the shadows.
So it's a version of, it's like Limbo, or whatever that one is, where it's the little kid running around in your shadows?
Yes and no. There's actually a part in the game that is very much like Limbo, but the rest of it is you are running around the real world and then navigating obstacles by hopping into shadows on buildings and things like that. As you can kind of see in this still here, where she's looking at us, but her shadow is doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very cool. There is a bit of a content warning. This game features some pretty harsh verbal child abuse. Like, it stands out. It's just like, it's so strange. And it takes place, though, in, I want to say 1920s, 1930s Chicago. So if you like that kind of Art Deco style, I think it was, you should be very impressed with the artwork. And I am going to now press play so we can get started. And around this point, I think you'll start hearing the jazz music, although Kasey, you won't.
Oh, what are you talking about? It's amazing, she says, sarcastically.
So Kasey, what are you toasting with?
I am currently hanging out with Corona Refresca, and then I've got Angry Orchard on the back half. What about you?
I'm doing Down East Craft Ciders, and it's a variety pack. And I've had it before, and I can't tell the difference between these ciders. So there you go. Here we go. You get to see kind of setup. It's still very glitchy, but we'll just have to make do.
Okay.
So
It's good enough
There's
for
Dawn. Yeah, that's our character, Dawn. There's all these collectibles that you got to pick up. And she is also an acrobat, although that barely comes in handy. And it's one of the weird things. And I mentioned earlier, this has a 9 out of 10 rating on Steam. Critically, it has about an average of 4 out of 10.
Jeez.
So there's Dee Dee. She is the little girl of whom we are the imaginary friend.
Good night, Daddy.
And you can see that she said,
What are you doing here?
"Good night, Daddy." Her dad is missing from the picture right now.
You better hide, or she's
And
gonna
Mom's
catch
coming
you.
in to put her to bed. Her mom is named
sweetie,
Kat.
night,
She
night.
is a nightclub singer.
What are you looking at?
And she has a performance tonight. And right there you'll see Dee Dee says that
No,
Mom
promise
can't
me
see
you'll be a
us.
good girl while I'm out singing.
you'll also notice that her mom
No
is
sneaking
putting
out
her
this
to
time.
bed.
I'll get in
She's
trouble.
laying on top of the covers with her shoes on.
That's my good girl.
And her mom's telling her not to sneak out.
Mommy,
Now,
I have a
Is
feeling a big
Daddy
fuck
ever
the rules
coming
is
back?
about to come
I
up.
don't know, honey.
Hmm?
Maybe
That
someday
I
when
have a
you-
feeling a big fuck the
Don't
rules
you
are about to
worry.
come up.
Mommy always comes
No,
back.
Yeah.
you're not sneaking
I'll
out.
be
Ah,
here for
fuck
when
you.
Wake up.
and
Do
you'll
what
see
Get
it's
some
as soon as the bedroom door shuts.
okay,
And later on,
she's
we do get
gone.
to explore the house, and
She's
you'll
gonna
see
sing
that
at the
she is
ghost
sneaking
tonight.
out
It's the most
faster than it would take
beautiful
time for her
cabaret.
mom to leave. So, like,
Come on, we'll miss
it's,
the
yeah. It's an interesting game. So then we get into the actual gameplay. And what do we know about... Oh, I think this game was mostly funded by, like,
show.
Kickstarter.
Oh no, somebody moved the ash cart.
And what do we know about
Look,
cheaply made
I know.
puzzle
You can go
platformers?
down there and move the ash cart.
They
And I
always
can
have a
jump
very
down.
infuriating
I'll
part.
play here.
Yeah, the platforming
So
sucks.
you can go over there and be the
Um,
shadow person.
So, but there you get an example of the gameplay style. You're right, just hit in the shadows
I
and
wish
jump
I
out.
could do that.
Very
Could
cool.
you teach me how to do that?
Yeah, the
Okay,
platforming
now
sucks. It's
move
almost
the
as
ash cart to where I can jump
though-
into it.
like all the surfaces have been smeared with ham. So if you try to hop up on a hill and you're not at the exact apex, then you will just slide off.
I wonder who moved it.
This video is about 90 minutes long.
Do you think it was Mommy?
The original
She got really mad at me
recording
the
of
last time I
this
snuck out.
was closer
Where did you go
to
for so long?
2.5 hours
I
long.
haven't seen you in 3 weeks.
And that hour of
I
time
really
that I
wish
cut
you'd been
out
at my
was
birthday.
loading screens and
Daddy
frustrating
missed my
jumps.
birthday.
Awesome.
So, to the makers
Now we
of
go this
Contrast,
Follow me.
there was an hour of your game that was just terrible platforming in your puzzle platforming game.
Oh,
Well, was it their first game that they ever made?
Indeed it was. And actually, since we're not really at any story parts, I will, I did get my fun facts, because I know how much you love fun facts about the
Oh,
game.
I love fun facts, dude. Oh,
So the godmother or the grandmother for this game was Arcane Studios, who is most famous for making BioShock 2 and the Dishonored series.
okay.
And in 2009, an employee from Arcane Studios left the company to start his own. I don't know how to pronounce this name. I think it's Guillaume. It's Guillaume. Provost, Provest. And he started Compulsion Studios, which is who made this game. He left Arcane in 2009. This game came out in 2013. So it was about 4 years in development, and it does not show. But again, I think that's largely a budgetary thing, because you'll see at one point I do show the credit for their funders, and it's not their fault that they didn't have enough money to put into the game. But Compulsion Studios also went on to make a slightly more well-known game called We Happy Few, which again was like kind of, fans liked it because it's very good stylized art like this, but apparently the gameplay sucks. And that came out in 2018, and after that game came out, Compulsion Studios got bought out by Microsoft. And so they're now a subsidiary. So what I'm doing at this point is exploring the city. There is a achievement to find, is that you try to enter the adult theater.
They haven't started the show yet.
Yeah.
I had played through this game quite a bit.
It's so beautiful.
Never remembered seeing an adult theater, so this is me just exploring every door that I can find.
Like you. Did you always want to be an acrobat?
And now, one of the things I want you, it's going to be difficult because we are kind of talking over the story, but I want someone to explain to me when this game takes place. There it is, Dirty. That's the porn theater. And when I say when, I don't mean like when in history. Like I said, it's 1920s and 1930s Chicago.
Are you
But
saying
like, when in the story do these events take place?
That's my good girl.
And you get to see some of the really shitty platforming coming up here.
Is Daddy ever...
But it's also showing off more of the shadow work.
Yeah.
Maybe someday when he's ready.
So yeah, we're not at any story bits right now, so what's new in the world? Anything going on
Statement.
since last month, I think it was?
Well, I mean, there's still
When there was a pandemic killing everyone?
we're still in the pandemic, killing everyone.
Oh, well that's disheartening. That means people didn't watch our hand washing simulation.
Oh, in fairness, I followed the hand simulator to a T, and I still have to get I still had to get tested for corona, and I'm waiting on the results.
Oh. Well.
So, yeah, life with an essential. My roommate and my boyfriend are essential workers, so it's not like they could quarantine.
Right.
So.
Well, same here. I'm an essential worker in
Vermont.
Well, so far we're dodging them. Yeah, because all the cases in Vermont are like 100 miles away.
Yeah, no. CME has the highest rate of infection in Ventura County. Because of course it does.
Yes.
I guess the other thing we could talk about is the Black Lives Movement. Black Lives Matter. God, I can't speak today.
Is there something going on with that right now?
I love how you play stupid.
Sugar.
Yes.
Help
Yes.
Here.
Yes, I am being willfully ignorant about current events. Yeah, so, I was going to make a joke that there's a race war going on, but it's not really. After a couple hundred years of systemic racism, a large number of people...
Surprise?
Am I surprised? You know what? To the extent that it has gotten to, I am kind of surprised because, like, in my lifetime, I think there's been at least two, but probably more other localized protests like this and situations like this that kind of just dissipated after about 3 weeks, I would say.
Yeah, it's still going on.
And it's been about a week, I want to say, this time around. Are we almost at a week with it?
I feel like we've been more than that. Because George Floyd was killed on the 25th of May.
Okay.
And that started it. But before that, there was tensions with Breonna Taylor's murder by the Louisville Police Department, and then there's God, I can't think of his name. The gentleman who was running, and he got taken out by those good old boys.
Oh yes.
In Georgia. Because apparently black people aren't allowed to jog.
Yes, I unfortunately have had to take to sharing stuff because, quite honestly, the length of the list of names has just been too long for me to put to memory. And with each new I want to say March or name that gets brought up, it feels like there's 10 others. Where, like I said, it's like people are focusing right now, I would say, primarily on
George Floyd.
George Floyd, and Breonna Taylor, I think, is also getting a lot of attention these days. But
yeah, but not as
like,
she hasn't gotten nearly as much as George Floyd did, and I kind of
but to the point, like now that her name's up in second place up there, I don't know how to. That's not the right way of phrasing that.
No.
But like second most attention.
So they'll forgive us.
Yeah. So this is not like planned
we don't write
speeches or anything. So this is just thinking out. The brain's processing while I'm thinking or while I'm speaking.
Yeah.
But while her name has become, I would say, the second most vocalized about, every other post I see is like, oh, don't forget about this person, don't forget about this person. I mean, there's just so many fucking names, which is kind of the point to why there's all this unrest now.
It's just...
There's just too many names.
I made a comment about it, and somebody was like, well, what about black on black crime? And it's like... like, the police are supposed to protect you and serve you and help you in your...
the weird thing. Oh, so here's some story, real quick, just to interrupt. So, Dee Dee did sneak out to watch her mom's performance, and this is now her mom and dad fighting. He's kind of a deadbeat dad, but he's like, oh, I've got one last, not scam, but he's like, I've got big dreams, and I'm going to win you all back. And the mom's saying, like, get the fuck out of here.
Take your shit and go, bitch.
Yeah, like, we've heard this before. And he's like, you'll see. He calls her kiddo, even though she's fucking adult. And as we'll see, his plan is fucking terrible.
Where is he going?
So now Dee Dee's gonna go try to find her dad. But anyway, back to the more important issue at hand.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we are pretty much in agreement. Yeah. The police serve a purpose, or
They're
should.
supposed to. They're supposed to serve a purpose. They are not serving that purpose.
Fulfill a role, I would say.
Yeah.
More than serve a purpose. They're supposed to fulfill a certain role,
He just went through
and they are violating it.
It's
It's a violation of that trust and support.
Mommy said Daddy left us, but that's not true.
And also in regards to
She kicked him
the
out.
shithead who said,
It won't open.
you know, what about the black on black
You can
crime?
break it open.
Um,
You're pretty strong.
I mean, in addition to the fact that same race on same race crime is always higher, so like white on white crime is higher than any sort of interracial crimes.
Yeah.
There are also a fuck ton of systemic problems
What's Daddy doing with him?
that are basically promoting violence in particular neighborhoods.
And I also feel like it's funny because I joined TikTok because I'm on a break from Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook for over a week.
And real quick, now we got another story part. So again, this first act has the most story in it, so it's kind of a shit time to like have a discussion. But so now our deadbeat dad is trying to convince a world-famous magician to perform at his circus tomorrow.
Dude,
And the world.
why the fuck is she living with Bob? Her dad owns a circus.
Well, it's kind of implied that it's not a permanent circus.
I'm staying at the Excelsior Hotel.
I know.
And it's so fucking weird, but like
People tell me not to trust you.
the magician is saying no here,
You're not as flush as you look.
and then the guy's like, "Oh, I already made the posters though."
Which is
So
why I think you'll perform at the
it's just
my circus.
weird.
Accuse me.
How about I jerk you out, dude, and then you can do it.
And he's like, "I need to prove, like, I've already made these posters saying you're going to be my show." And the guy's like, "Well, I'm not going to be in your show unless you give me the money." So your dad goes, "Oh, well, I need your demo reel in order to get the money," and the magician is saying no. So now we have to go get the demo reel, right?
Right.
But again, this is where it gets into the thing of like, where in this timeline of the story do these events take place? Because you'll see a little bit later too when I start exploring the city more. Like, up until the very end of it, and I mean like the very last scene of the game, was kind of under the impression that a lot of this was like a dream or a flashback. But then we'll see like this, according to the story, is all taking place like in reality. And it gets so fucking strange. But, oh, sorry. Oh, and you'll see this part 2 coming up here. Throughout the game, you have to collect these things called luminaries, in fact, glowing orbs, and you use them to light different objects. So, like, at that first scene at the nightclub, we used it to light up one of the spotlights. There's going to be another scene where you, light up. It's all for lighting up spotlights. I don't know whether they say anything else. But you see it says 5 of 10. You don't lose them when you use them. So there's absolute, and you never need more than 3 at a time. So why they put 10 on the game? You don't get any achievement for getting them all. It's just a weird feature in the game. Anyway.
Strange.
So now we're going to go break into a movie theater to get this demo. Oh, we got the demo reel. Now we're going to go break into a movie theater to show it. And as you can look at this landscape here, the streets just stop existing.
Oh no, there's no way to get across.
Like we're all floating in space.
I know.
But this,
If we could
at
get
the
a
end,
spotlight
we'll tell you that
then I could
this
catch it.
is
But
meant
it's out
to
of
be
power.
reality.
We need some luminaries. Do you have any?
Yeah. So anyhow, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, as a fucking white woman, I'm never gonna experience systemic racism, so I have a hard time, like, talking about it. Not, like, I don't know how I'm trying to fix this. It's coming out wrong.
Yeah. Well, we agreed, and by the time we're watching this, it will be already attached to the video. But
Please?
Yeah.
there's going to be a link in our comments, or not, in the description for a number of resources to help out, or charities to donate to in order to support movements or organizations like Black Lives Matter. And
We're also
We
gonna put
have-
up for Pride.
yes, and Pride, I was getting to that. You didn't let me finish.
Mm.
I was just going to say that I think we had agreed that even though we're probably not going to get into depth on this topic, we felt it was remiss to not bring it up and to not show our support for the cause.
Yeah, I've already been to one march, and depending on how my coronavirus test comes back, luckily I don't have any symptoms, and it would have been, we're over a week from when the boys were exposed, so we likely don't have it, but we're playing it safe right now, so I'm self-isolating from work. I'm working from home again, and I felt so bad because my big boss that I had to tell it to, she is literally 3 weeks away from having a baby. And I
nice.
went to her office earlier that day without a mask on, so I'm like, I feel like dog shit, because usually when I'm at work,
It's locked.
I don't wear a mask in my cube, but I'll wear it when I'm out, and that was the day I forgot. Of course, that's the day I find out that I was exposed, or possibly
Right.
exposed. But I have I joined TikTok, and I keep,
Yeah, I'm sorry, never mind.
sorry.
I was just going
Maybe
to
you
interject
find it as a way
that
in.
I am working. I too am an essential worker, and I work with a very high-risk population right now, so I can't attend any marches because I just can't risk it. But I have,
too.
actually, it was kind of funny because it was as a method of trolling someone.
Mhm.
Been donating to both Black Lives Matter and the fund that Colin Kaepernick set up. And if you can afford it, I highly suggest, rather than arguing with any shithead online, just donate to one of those causes in their name.
That is
It's the
exactly
funniest fucking thing.
Oh, because they get a thank you.
They get a thank you. Well, sometimes, I mean, if you know their email address and whatnot, if it's a random person just like on Facebook or whatever, then you have to take a screenshot of the thank you.
And post it.
And then post it that way, and especially when it's somebody who responds with like, what about black on black crime? I had attached a note to it that said, hey, you know what, thank you so much for your concern about the African American community. On top of that, I went ahead and donated to Colin Kaepernick's fund that he set up. And then they get this, you know, post a screenshot of the letter, the thank you letter.
Well, it's to kind of go back to what I was saying. Like, I just joined TikTok, and there's a lot of videos on there about Black Lives Matter right now, and like from both Black creators and white allies. And I kind of, I don't know how I'm trying to like phrase it where I feel like I'm gonna come off, no matter how I say it, as an asshole, but like,
well, yeah, kind of.
I feel my job as an ally is to be there to listen, to be a voice for those who can't be voiceful, and it's like people are sitting there posting about getting disowned by their family for their beliefs, and I'm like, I feel like you're making it about you.
And you know who it's gonna star?
And I don't know how to feel about it.
You know, I haven't. I'm on TikTok.
Yeah,
well, my
it's gonna
Zim's
star
on
the
TikTok.
amazing Vincenzo.
Well, it was
I'm
originally going to be coffees on TikTok, but then I made one about the coronavirus because I'm freaking out about it.
Take you home.
Okay. So but I haven't seen those specific ones with people like talking about what's happened to them in terms of like family disowning them and stuff like that. So I don't want to. The best I could do is like play the devil's advocate in that sense and say that you know, in situations like that can be shifting the focus to themselves, or that can be like a desperate attempt to reach out to be brought into some community because they have been rejected by their family.
That's fair, I guess, because I have my ridiculously supportive mother, so like, and because of that, I don't give a shit about what my dad thinks. My dad probably would not be happy with me. I know his dad would not, because my grandfather was a fucking bigot, and I could care less.
So now we're seeing, speaking of dads, now we're seeing our dad meeting with mobsters who are apparently funding the circus, who are now beating the shit out of him because they think he can't get the magician because he hasn't produced the demo reel.
So you gotta go put the demo reel on.
Yeah, so we just gotta play it. Just go to this movie theater. Now, here's the thing. In the reality of this story, the dad is now gonna think that his daughter did it.
Thanks a bunch.
And it creates this,
Look, why don't we
like,
swing by tomorrow, pick it up?
it just adds to all these mysteries of, like, how his daughter would have been able to do some of the stuff. Especially if you saw, like, the acrobatics that we needed to go through to get to these things.
Tomatoes, my wife.
And now there's, like, this really weird threat, like they're gonna do something to his wife in front of him, even though they got the demo reel. Yeah, so now we gotta go save the fucking day again.
Because that's all done then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very weird. I've come across a couple of them, and I'm not like faulting those people for making those videos, because TikTok's very much like make it in the moment type thing.
Yeah, I mean, it is tricky, especially with what you talked about, because it is a performance platform too. So I feel like there is probably a bigger chance that those presenters are making it about themselves.
And it could be that they're not. Like, it's not. So it's like it could go either way. And like, I don't know. I feel like as an ally in the movement, your job is to listen to, you know.
I mean, it's
without
it's to
sounding
listen.
like an asshole or to be like non-participatory. Like, it's
Right.
like in Louisville when.
Well, that's the white shield.
The white shield, yeah. That's the kind of stuff I feel like we're supposed to be doing. I don't.
Yeah, but in vocal support is significant as well, I think.
That's true.
As long as it's not overriding
I think it's for me.
someone
It's
else's
like,
message.
I find myself questioning. I'm always suspicious, so I'm finding myself questioning the motives on why someone would post a particular video like that. And I also don't want to run into the dangers of like kind of the white savior motif.
Now here's two mobsters discussing beating their children, real quick.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's something as allies we can easily fall into.
Yes.
And that's something I've been trying to avoid, which is why I haven't necessarily been posting much about my participation in those.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because there is...
It feels like it's such a fun
inherently
line that I'm not sure where I can go.
Well, and I think there's like such an inherently performative aspect, or even if it's not the intent,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're sharing it online, like it feels performative, even if it's genuine. And that's why I think the best approach, what basically a lot of the people I know have done who have been able to attend marches and want to raise awareness and spread the word, is they will say stuff like, oh, I went to this march, like in Randolph, you don't know where that is, and heard this great speaker, and then turn the rest of it to the speaker. That type of thing.
I also ran into the unfortunate problem of, because we were like redoing my mortgage at the same time, I actually had to leave the protest early, so I got to the finish point, but I didn't get to stay for the speeches and the kneeling, and I feel really shitty about that as well.
Well, there's going to be plenty more.
I know, I'm excited. Hopefully I'll be able to go. If not, I've donated to a couple. I donated to the Louisville Bond, because, I mean, don't get me wrong, Minnesota's in my heart, but Louisville's my hometown.
Are you saying all states matter?
It's more... I don't know, because, like, I feel like...
It's a joke because the term all lives matter is awful.
All lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter, so let's just move on from that fucking statement. No, I mean, like, it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters which fund you're donating to, as long as it's one of them. Yeah.
And I don't think you should have to apologize. I mean, I am half joking when I say that all states matter. I mean, as long as you're donating to a place where protesters are getting arrested for exercising their First Amendment right, they need help too.
Yeah,
I mean, that is a fundamental violation of rights, and it doesn't matter where it's happening. They need help, and
they're the ones who broke
That's
the
that.
finger.
that's really that.
Got a cot in a desk drawer.
Because
In a door, a car door.
So now,
I live in Simi Valley. I kind of want to talk about that protest real quick, because it's very... I just want to point out, because we're at a part, in addition to some of like, oh, maybe I cut it out.
You don't believe a word you're saying.
Oh no, so
know,
when you
'cause I
walk
can
down to the
read
door,
your
it
mind.
triggers
Highway sign.
another
No,
cutscene.
Johnny.
You're supposed to open the door.
You're
If
a
you
carousel
don't,
of broken
cutscene
dreams. You
continues
keep coming around and
of
around.
this like really manipulative
Get back. Don't try to
domestic
kiss me,
violence,
Johnny.
and
I'll
then
lose my
she pulls a
mind.
gun,
Go ahead and shoot. I got two holes
and
in me where you and
we
Dee
can
used to be.
watch it from
Put
there.
another one in there. Finish
And this
me
is
off.
where you find
you
out
want
that
with
Dee
Dee?
Dee is
You're
not
not even
his
a real
daughter,
father.
What, do you think Vincenzo's real? All he ever gave
and
Katie
it's
was
the
her cute
magician
little nose.
who's really the
Yeah,
father.
maybe I'm not her real father, but I'm the one that showed her
Fuck,
how to
does
tie her
everybody
shoes.
know everybody?
I'm the one that put her to bed when you had to
And
stay
I
out.
wish that would
You
come
took her to see his show.
into
He changed his mind.
any
He
significance
doesn't wanna
during
be
this
her
plot,
He doesn't want to be
but it
anybody.
doesn't.
Jesus, Cal, what are you doing?
And then she threatens suicide and then kills him.
Oh, well, that hurts.
No.
Well, shit.
No, don't die, Johnny.
Take care of Dee, okay?
It's a fun game,
I love her.
right?
Please don't leave me.
Yeah.
Puzzle platformer
She
with
needs to
a
hear.
neat idea. It's about domestic violence. Alright. And then you go get the kid and the scene plays
I
out
know, because I
like
can read your mind.
almost
like a
exactly
highway
the same,
sign.
except the
No,
guy doesn't get
Johnny.
shot.
Not again.
So you live in
You're a
Simi
carousel
Valley,
of
you were saying?
broken dreams. You
So I
keep
live in
coming
Simi Valley, and
around
there was this
around.
whole thing, like,
Ever gonna love
these
you like I do, kiddo.
these
Get
high
back.
school kids set up,
Don't try and kiss me,
applied
Johnny,
for the
I'll lose my
permit to
mind.
have
Shoot me? Go
a
ahead.
protest.
I got 2 holes in
Did
me where your
everything
DD
they
used
were
to be.
supposed
Put
to.
another one in there. Finish me off.
What do you want?
And
Vinny?
Saturday
You're
we
not
all go
even
out
a
there
real father.
What, you think Vincenzo's real?
on the main
All you
street,
ever
which is
did, kid, was her
Cochrane.
cute
We
little
all call it
nose.
Cochrane.
Yeah, maybe I'm not her real father, but I'm the one that showed her how to tie her shoes.
You're
I'm
revealing
the
where
one
you
who put her to
live.
bed
Like,
when
people are
you
going
had
to
stay
track
up
you
late.
down now.
You took her to see his
Oh
show.
yeah,
He
good luck
changed
finding
his
my
mind.
fucking house.
He
DoorDash
doesn't
can't
wanna
do
be
it.
her father. He doesn't want to be anybody.
I hate you.
So
What are you doing?
we're out there,
Stop!
and
What are you doing?
we don't see a lot of. Well, I got to see instant karma. That was pretty fucking great.
Mommy and Daddy
That is
were
always
having
great.
a little fight.
Because this woman was screaming no at us from her passenger side, and then the driver hit somebody in front of them, rear-ended someone, and we all shouted yes.
Are you
But it
gonna
was
let
very
Dad come
interesting
home?
because I went to the
Please?
Women's March in LA,
Please let Dad come home.
He's in pretty deep
and it
with
was a
some bad
very
people,
different
Diddy.
feeling with
Maybe
the
he
police.
should
And it was
make
very
good with them
interesting to
first.
experience because
Right,
as a
John?
white woman, I've never
Maybe I'm no
had
good
that
without my family.
experience.
Maybe
I
I'm not
recognize
family.
my privilege in that
Yeah, Daddy needs us.
Whitey
This is no
Stein over
train.
here, I was
It's
able
not just gonna be
to,
you and the train this time.
I'm not gonna let it wreck this time.
like, we went to the Women's March, it felt like they were there to support us, to protect us, to not,
But he's not my
Yeah.
real daddy, is he?
And now, just if you're paying attention to the game, for no reason at all, the wife has decided to take the husband back, knowing that he's just dealt with the mafia, who's funding his fucking circus.
well, she never claimed to be smart, now did she? She was tricked by a magician.
So that was the end of Act 1.
Mom?